oftentimes the last word that a black person might hear in an inner city, for example, is the N word at the hands of another black person.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yo.
What is up, Mr. Walt? How are you doing today?
Brother, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you. It is welcome to the show, everybody. It is Craig, otherwise known as Fact and Not Madness, with my good friend Walt, and we are with Web of Facts, our new show, which we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. We've had every Monday at 1300 hours, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we had an interesting comment. I think normally we would have like a strict title. Both Walt and I have been doing a couple of different things. So we may not have had as much time as we normally would have had to kind of, just to kind of get into the show. But we had the racial bias and algorithms show, and it elicited a couple of things. First of all, we introduced a problem. Well, this was the next show, but we've been talking about AI in some general, and he said, I don't even know if we're approaching this particular question in the correct way. So it kind of made me think, well, I know you're a teacher, but what if I went to a math teacher? So I wanted to ask you this question.
Yeah.
If I was going to pose the question of probability in any manner, do you think it would be more kind of like give it to a high school teacher and he's like, oh, I think my students will like this, or is this more like a college level thing?
Well, to be quite frank with you, my gut tells me go towards the college because there's going to be higher math.
So we are talking about a different type of probability, but I think it's kind of in line with, like, what's the chance? Because the question was something like, this. What's the question, or what's the probability of these exact letters appearing first out of all the combinations that you possibly had?
Right.
This question came up naturally because, like we talked about when we were on the show, was that, first of all, we wanted to know if it was real. And there's still the backstory of me trying to figure out all that stuff. So this is going to be a follow up to the story. I thought in my mind, if I was going to wonder if it was real or not, the question is it even possible for these letters to randomly come up? That's how I kind of got to the question.
Yeah, right.
So I'll go to the college. So there's a community college near me.
Cool.
Either call, whatever. So we'll follow up on that. I think you'd probably be interested in figuring out how that is.
I would love to see the conversation. And here's the experiment that I think would be fascinating, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know this math professor, or do you just know them at school?
No, I don't even know. I mean, I'm just going to go to like the admin office and say, hey.
I wish you would record this. Somebody's got to record this because when you go in there and you ask them this question, especially if the professor is probably not black, they're going to be kind of surprised. Where are you coming from?
Sure.
Right.
Well,
and I think it would be a fascinating thing to watch. I just out of curiosity, I think it'd be fun to see how people will react to just the question. It would be interesting if I asked the question versus you.
Well, I mean, it might be interesting for us both to ask a math teacher similarly yoked and find out and kind of go over what our now that's interesting. I think you're right. That might be interesting. You brought up something, and this is on side, and I hope you don't mind me bringing it up.
Do it. But I bring anything up. I don't care.
Do you ever get things across like your Facebook feed or things like that just surprise you, and you're like, what the hell was that?
Here's the story. Somebody creates a meme on the internet, shows up on my Facebook feed. I promise you, with all true sincerity, I don't go looking for racial stuff. And I don't know if it's because that you and I started this conversation and I typed in a few letters into ChatGPT somehow. Maybe it picked it up to my phone. Who knows? But now I got this little video that shows up on my shorts. It only showed up once on the Facebook shorts, right? Okay. And it's like not even a whole minute. It's probably 40 seconds. And it shows a dude dressed up like a typical burglar, right? Like comic book burglar. And he's tiptoeing over, that kind of thing. And then he's walking on his tiptoes and he does his flip and then he gets up and he kind of does a little look around like, they do in the movies. And then he pulls out of his shirt the letter A and he stamps it on the end of a sign and he completes the word into a racial slur. I probably I might have chuckled and he kept moving. I wouldn't have stopped and thought about it too long. I think the funniest thing about it is the word, because it has a lot of meaning for a lot of people. I mean, it has turned into fights that I've seen. It has turned into jokes. The word has so many different pregnancies. It can have a baby of any type, and it's amazing to me that I like our conversation about it pre-show because you gave me a lot of insight. Tell us how you feel about what you were sharing with me, because I thought it was very insightful.
Use the N-word. Don't use the N-word. Are you comfortable with it? Whatever. I mean, you have Oprah Winfrey says don't use it. Maybe Bill Cosby, whatever. I mean, don't bring up his name per se. But my point is that there's a number of different ways of thinking about it. Some people say we're going to take the word back.
Right.
I know I've
Heard
been
that.
in circles where, with love, do we use that word in amongst a group of people playing cards, those kind of things.
Sure.
But I'll tell you, oftentimes the last word that a black person might hear in an inner city, for example, is the N-word at the hands of another black person.
Sure.
With hate.
I've seen it.
With hate,
Right.
right? As they're killing
good.
them, for example. I mean, so there's so many ways of thinking. I mean, I honestly, I think that at the end of the day, there's a time and place for everything. I was in the military. I don't think that you were. I think you told me that you weren't. With our dress and appearance, we were told basically that if you have to question whether or not you're in regulation, then you're probably not, right?
Right.
So,
yep.
To your point, I mean, if somebody asked me, does it offend you? No, it doesn't offend me whether or not you say it. I would probably caution a person that is asking me if they should or should not say it. Probably you shouldn't say it. I mean, if you gotta ask, then
right. I remember when that started to fall out of fashion and it started becoming an issue in school and on TV. And whenever I went to college, that was something that we were, very well educated about in school because I was going to become a teacher. So we were going to be dealing with students who were going to be using racial language and stuff like that. So, we were kind of acculturated to, hey, that is a no-no. Don't use that word. It has a lot of meanings that, and I remember how it went from used to like not so much. And then started showing up in rap songs.
Nigga. I'm 100% nigga. Nigga. I'm 200% nigga. Nigga. Why do police hate niggas? Nigga. The haters cause our dicks is bigger.
Okay.
Remember that?
I'm self-censoring, if you will. I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem saying the word, but I'll say it for the sake of, YouTube-ness, if you will. I'm going to play this video.
Oh my.
Okay. So I told you a joke before this. I'm not going to repeat the joke. To me, that shit is funny as hell. And the joke that I told you, funny. Some of these things that are or surrounded around race and stereotypes, they are funny. Is it politically correct? Maybe no. I get that, and like I said,
Nice.
there's a time and place for everything. I think that's Ecclesiastes. Don't quote me, but if I
That is,
remember correctly,
yeah,
every
time to live, time to die. Is it Yeah, Ecclesiastes. That's it.
maybe it
Yeah.
is. Anyway, so we had a comment, and I've now pinned it at the very top, but I'm gonna put it on the screen. Let's see. So this person, Nathan underscore sweet. Again, thank you, Nathan, for engaging with our video and give us a comment. And I encourage anybody else who wants to do that, do the same. He says, I provided this transcript to my AI system and asked for its thoughts. This was the response. He put the prompt, share your thoughts on the attached video transcript. AI analysis. Sorry. Analysis of, quote, racial bias and algorithms, unraveling the truth. This discussion provides a valuable exploration of racial bias in AI, touching on key issues such as algorithmic biases, systemic inequities in data, and the implications of AI driven decision making. The video also engages with solutions for ensuring frames and inclusivity in AI, making it a worthwhile contribution to the ongoing debate. He says bias is often unintentional yet systemic. The speakers correctly highlight that biases in AI are not necessarily a result of deliberate racism, but rather systemic issues embedded in historical data and the priorities of those designing AI systems. The example of facial recognition struggling with darker skin tones is a well documented case where training data skewed towards lighter skinned individuals led to a disproportionately poor performance on non white faces. Data reflects society's biases. AI doesn't create bias, it amplifies the bias present in its training data. If historical lending data reflects discriminatory lending practices, then an AI model trained on that data will likely reproduce those same inequities. This is why bias correction strategies must be built into the AI development process. Now, now you mentioned this, and I know you and I have talked about this. We might as well spill the beans, if you will. But we plan on kind of, I don't know if programming is the correct word, but using AI to kind of build some things that might be useful or ways of thinking that utilize AI in some interesting ways. Maybe within the next couple of weeks or so or whatever. But we've talked about this. Is this kind of like what you're describing, what you have done and what you think he has done as well?
Okay.
Yes,
But
but
I'm really kind
I'm
of
really kind
surprised
of
you would
surprised
ask
you
this
would ask this
question
question
because the
because
timing
the
is
timing
right
is
on.
right on.
Okay. All right.
This
This
morning
morning I
I
was
was
thinking,
thinking,
what do I
what
need
do I
AI
need
to do
AI
for
to do
me?
for me? And
And
what it would be
what it would be
amazing would be
amazing would
what I
be
call
what
my
I call my
life
life
dashboard.
dashboard.
Building this from ground up, a dashboard. And
Mhm.
are we set on the fact that it would be a dashboard, or you just happen to be have already kind of experienced that
I
and
started
dash?
it. So
Okay.
I built this thing and I started using it and I was like, damn, this is pretty potent. It sends me an email
Mhm.
to remind me of what I've got to do. I think we could put all kinds of features in it. I mean, we could put in personal finance.
I'm down with starting thinking about it and kind of planning for it. So we kind of established that we need a control, and will I be the one that will be the control because I'm the the tightwad here
Uh,
and I don't pay for
Sure.
things, I
Well,
guess.
no, use the Grok. Use Grok. I think you can use it for free and get as much quality out of it as I'm getting out of it.
You never know who's going to give you the inspiration. What do we do? Write some ground rules of what we're going to do from, I mean, you know what I mean? Like what's the rules to the game?
What
Sure,
what we're
absolutely.
talking about is we're going to build a platform that people can use to keep track of their stuff, whatever that stuff is, right?
Mm, okay.
I'm going to suggest the area that I've already started it in, which is WordPress, because it's online. It's something that you can install on your own web server. It's got a database. You can program it in JavaScript or PHP or
Mhm.
CSS, all three. And those are very simple languages for the most part. AI does a great job building on that. I'll show you how to do some basic coding and how to build a plugin. And then you will start building parts to it. And then we'll join them together and we'll test them out. And then we'll make them break. And then we'll figure out how to fix them. And then we'll make them better.
We can kind of document our journey through this, and
Yeah.
then we get to the point where people will begin to make suggestions for a task that
Yeah.
we were. Oh, okay, I see. See,
Sure.
I mean, it's all completely new, the concept of what you're talking about. So I'm literally thinking out loud as we're talking. So,
Yeah.
but
That's
I
cool.
think I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I'm totally down for it.
What I'd love to see is other people that are watching this video kind of get motivated to join us and
Hmm.
put pieces into this. And I think just the fact that you and I are building something, it wouldn't matter if it's a clubhouse or a piece of software. I think
Yeah.
us building something together helps this concept of getting together and building stuff. I mean, it's as simple as that. We're going to use AI to get there. Like we could build something with AI that would like bridge some gaps. And I don't even care what it is. It would just be amazing for us all to collaborate on something, build something that everybody could use that would, save them time. It's not impossible. There's an open source model for this.
No, and I mean, I'm fascinated with the idea. Now, the only thing that I'm going to ask is there anything already out there that does something about kind of like along the lines of what you're talking about?
Microsoft probably tried to come up with something like that. They probably called it Outlook. It's got all your email and your calendar and all that in there, but you got to pay
Sure.
for that. I
Right,
think we
right.
should make it open source. I mean, there's going to be some cost because you got to have a host a server, but the cost ain't no $59 a month. It's going to be, $3 or even less.
Now that makes me think about something because I often go out and look for things that are free. Now,
Right.
for I'll give you an example.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of Olive?
No.
Or Olive is one, but OBS. I know you've heard of
Oh,
OBS,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I use it all
Okay,
the time.
that's open source, right?
Hmm. Right.
Okay, so but whoever did that had to put some or expended some amount
Oh,
of
tons.
resources. So the question is why do people do that? Free stuff.
Yeah, I've been part of that movement since about the year about I would say 1998 is when I
Hmm.
first started hearing about Linux and open source. It's called the
I put you on
GPL,
the spot.
General Public License. Okay,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's the opposite of the trademark. It's the opposite of copyright, basically. And it's saying like, look, I'm going to produce something. I'm going to make it available to the community for free. Here's the only rule: if you take it and you make it better, share with me what you made better so we can make it
Hmm.
better for everybody that uses it. So that's the open source model. It's very simple, doesn't require any payment, doesn't require you going to court to establish who's the owner because everyone's the owner. It's basically open source to the world. And that was
Okay.
the idea behind OpenAI. That's the idea behind DeepSeek. They're trying to share how they did it because it's kind of like a library or a community park where everybody goes there. And it's like it doesn't belong to anybody, it belongs to everybody.
Not everybody does everything for free, right? So
Right.
for the like OBS for example, maybe there's some iteration that went out there that wasn't OBS and that remains
Right.
free, but do those guys do that and not ever make any money from it or
It's possible. Like for instance, you've heard of WordPress, right?
yes.
WordPress is open source. You can have a
Oh,
copy
okay.
of that a million times a day and it costs you nothing. Most of the big heavy duty internet technology that's out there is open source. It costs
I got you.
nothing. The reason why, it's funny, people don't know that Linux even exists, but most of the web servers on the planet are running Linux. All those AWS servers, they're running Linux. Most web servers are Linux. Your Android phones are running Linux. That's all the same thing underneath the hood, but nobody calls it that.
Oh, okay.
And even the Mac OS was based on the Unix kernel, but not it's on the BSD kernel, not the Linux kernel, which is another variant of a Unix-like operating system, which was had its roots in the open source movement. So it's kind of like the fundamental basis of everything. Capitalism sits on top of that.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we've reached that moment in time where we've gotten to the hour point.
Oh,
I think we cover. I know, right? It is like that, and I love that about the show is that we discover things that are cool. We want to keep talking about it, and we're only trying to get better. I don't know this. I mean, you and I, we are where we are. This statement is. I'm surprised that I say it when we talk, but this is for everybody else who doesn't get there. And I always say it, whether you're on the right side or the left side, on any idea, concept, whatever, politically, etc. If you insist on remaining on the opposite ends of that spectrum, then you will never find a place where we can get along. So, and meet me here, meet Walt and I here, and I think we're gonna be working on some cool stuff in the near future with regards to
I'll
this
send you the
experiment that we're
code.
gonna do. All right, now everybody, take care. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for watching.
If you have a video you'd like for us to cover, use the submit link in the description or pinned comment. If you enjoyed this one, consider subscribing and hit the bell to be notified of future content. Be sure to check out all of the other content we have for your edutainment. We will continue to respectfully exercise our First Amendment rights and publish the interactions we have with government officials. Remember to like, share, and leave a comment. It's the easiest way for you to let us know your thoughts about our channel.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh.